Kaizer Chiefs have started the new Betway Premiership campaign with encouraging performances, and there is growing optimism around the club. However, despite the positive start, Amakasi are reportedly not finished in the transfer market. According to reports, Kaizer Chiefs are still looking to add more quality to their squad, and one of the biggest names now being linked with the club is former Orlando Pirates star motaung Saleng. Yes, motaung Saleng. The player who previously made his name at Orlando Pirates and is now a Mamelodi Sundowns player could potentially make another big move within the Premier Soccer League. Reports indicate that Kaizer Chiefs are seriously interested in bringing Saleng to Naturina on a loan deal, with negotiations reportedly progressing positively. And what makes this story even more interesting is the current situation surrounding the player at Mamelodi Sundowns. So, could Saleng really become a Kaizer Chiefs player? Let's get into the latest details. Chiefs still want more quality. Kaizer Chiefs deserve credit for the way they have started the Betway Premiership campaign. The team has shown good consistency, and supporters are beginning to see signs of improvement. But the Chiefs management understands that a long season requires more than a good start. There will be injuries, suspensions, difficult fixtures and periods when the team needs additional quality from the bench. That is why the club is reportedly continuing to look for opportunities in the transfer market. And this is where motaung Saleng comes into the picture. If Chiefs can complete this deal, they would be bringing in a player who already knows the demands of playing at one of the biggest clubs in South Africa. Sailing to Kaizer Chiefs? According to the reports surrounding this transfer story, Kaizer Chiefs are seriously exploring a loan move for Saleng from Mamelodi Sundowns. The negotiations are reportedly progressing well. However, it is important to make one thing clear: this is still a developing transfer story. There has been no official announcement confirming that Saleng has signed for Kaizer Chiefs. But the reported interest is enough to get Chiefs supporters talking. Saleng is a player with experience, pace and attacking ability, and Chiefs could see him as an important addition to their squad. A loan deal could also make sense for the club because it would allow Chiefs to bring in the player without necessarily committing to a permanent transfer immediately. Why Chiefs are pushing for Saleng? One of the biggest reasons Chiefs could be pushing strongly for this deal is the situation surrounding Saleng at Mamelodi Sundowns. The player's situation at Sundowns has attracted significant attention, with reports suggesting that he has been unhappy with his current circumstances. And whenever a talented player is looking for a new challenge, other clubs naturally start paying attention. Kaizer Chiefs could be looking at this situation and seeing an opportunity. If Saleng wants a fresh start, Chiefs could offer him exactly that. A new club. A new environment. A new challenge. And potentially an opportunity to play more regularly and rebuild his confidence. Why Saleng could be important for Chiefs? From a football perspective, Saleng could bring something different to the Kaizer Chiefs attack. He is known for his pace and ability to attack defenders. He can create opportunities from wide positions and has the ability to change the game when given space. For Chiefs, having a player like Saleng could give the team another attacking option. Imagine Chiefs playing against a team defending very deeply. Sometimes you need an individual player who can take responsibility, run at defenders and create something from nothing. That is where Saleng could potentially make a difference. He could also add competition for places. And competition is healthy for every big club. When players know that another quality player is fighting for their position, everyone has to work harder. The Orlando Pirates connection. There is another reason why this possible transfer would be massive. Saleng is a former Orlando Pirates star. He became a popular figure during his time with the Buccaneers, and his performances made him one of the most talked about attacking players in South African football. Now imagine that same player moving from Pirates to Sundowns and potentially ending up at Kaizer Chiefs. That would create enormous attention. The rivalry between Chiefs and Pirates is one of the biggest in African football. So if Saleng puts on the famous gold and black jersey, supporters from both clubs will certainly have something to say. For Chiefs fans, it could be seen as a major coup. For Pirates supporters, it could be a difficult transfer to watch. And for South African football as a whole, it would become one of the biggest stories of the transfer window. Saleng's possible fresh start. From the player's perspective, a move to Kaizer Chiefs could also be an opportunity. Football careers can change very quickly. A player can be one of the biggest stars in the league one season and then find himself struggling for opportunities the next. That is why sometimes a change of environment can make a huge difference. If Saleng is genuinely unhappy at Sundowns and wants a new challenge, joining Chiefs could give him the motivation to start again. He would have the chance to prove himself once more. And most importantly, he could remind South African football fans of the player they saw during his best days at Orlando Pirates. The big question for Sundowns. But there is one major obstacle. Will Mamelodi Sundowns actually agree to send Saleng to Kaizer Chiefs? That is the question. Sundowns are one of the strongest clubs in the country, and Chiefs are a direct competitor. If Saleng joins Chiefs and returns to his best form, he could potentially face Sundowns later in the season. So from Sundowns' perspective, this decision would need to be carefully considered. A loan move could benefit the player, but Sundowns would also need to think about the potential consequences. The final agreement would depend on the negotiations between the clubs and the player. Could this deal happen? At the moment, the possibility remains open. Reports suggest that Chiefs are serious and that negotiations are progressing positively. But until the deal is officially announced, supporters should treat it as a developing transfer story. There can always be unexpected changes during negotiations. A player can change his mind. A club can reject the terms. Or another club can enter the race. So Chiefs fans will have to wait for the next update. But if the current negotiations continue moving in the right direction, this is certainly a deal worth watching. Final thoughts. Kaizer Chiefs are showing good consistency in the Betway Premiership, but the club appears determined to continue strengthening the squad. And motaung Saleng could be the next major name on their radar. According to the reports, Chiefs are seriously working on a possible loan move from Mamelodi Sundowns, with negotiations reportedly progressing well. The situation surrounding Saleng could also give Chiefs an opportunity to convince the player to take on a new challenge at Naturena. For Chiefs, it would be a major attacking addition. For Saleng, it could be the fresh start he needs. And for Sundowns, it could provide a solution to the player's current situation. But nothing is official yet. So the big question remains. Will motaung Saleng really become a Kaizer Chiefs player? If Chiefs manage to complete this deal, it could become one of the biggest transfer stories of the season. Let me know in the comments, would you like to see motaung Saleng wearing the Kaizer Chiefs jersey? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Kaizer Chiefs transfer news and the latest updates from South African football. Until the next update, stay tuned.